So you may remember me reviewing MoMa Ready's album earlier in 2020. It is one of my favourites of the year so far. It was under the name of Gallery S. The name of the artist in the album was a bit confusing because he is known as MoMa Ready, but I think this album was under the name Gallery S. Anyway, you may remember. You should have listened to the album if you watched my review, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I think it's friggin' great. Little did I know that MoMa Ready dropped another album in 2020. In fact, it has been out nearly 2 months at this point. Maybe even by the time this review goes up, it'll be beyond 2 months. I don't even know. This is not really the point. It's out. It's been out a while. I didn't know about it straight away, but it is in fact a collaboration effort this time around, not just MoMa Ready on his own. AceMoMa is AceMo and MoMa Ready combined to make AceMoMa, which is an artist who I don't know a great deal about, but I think after hearing this album I should definitely check out more of what AceMo has been doing, considering I think this album is bloody great, and of course I've been enjoying everything I've heard from MoMa Ready thus far. It's very much in that same style, so if you're into like drum and bass, house, techno, hardcore breaks, all that kind of stuff that you've heard from, artists like Bogdan Rosicky in the past, and any other artists in this style of music, I think you would definitely get a kick out of what these artists are doing together on this album here. It is in fact quite a lengthy album though, being 69 minutes long, which I think some people may get a bit tired with because it is pretty heavy going for the entire runtime. There are only a few spots where I think things calm down and sort of give you a chance to breathe and maybe try and take in what you've been hearing so far, but other than that, it pretty much keeps going for the whole time, and it's a fun listen. It's a very diverse listen though. You're not getting the same thing on every track, even though the sort of structure of the album is pretty standard for what you get in this genre, but you're getting some really interesting soul samples being used on the track Hidden Memory. I like the way you hear it at the start and then it gets sort of twisted and then chopped up and placed throughout the track. It's a really cool. Focus is much more of a grimy and heavier track. The friggin' bass wobbles on this thing, oh, so good, so good. It just really gets you friggin' hype. Like, it gives you pretty much everything that MoMa Ready was doing on the album earlier in the year. So obviously if you've heard that, then I think a lot of these same things are cropping up here, but I think just that diverse nature of the album actually gives this a nice flair, which I think maybe could potentially give people more of a reason to return to this one if they weren't a big of a fan of what MoMa Ready was doing. There's some really friggin' cool, like, intergalactic sci-fi moments across this thing as well. Buffalo Staple, you gotta be ready for your pew pew list for friggin' 2020, because I know you pointed out some great pew pews in your pre-show for 2019. You gave Frank Ocean the winning track, the winning title for that, but I think I've topped it here. I think I've found one even better. Disrupt the System, man, sounds like straight out of like a Star Wars scene. Honestly, it sounds like a Star Wars battle that you see in every film that they've given us so far. Those iconic moments. Just replace John Williams' score with this track, and I think it actually might work pretty well. Distant Peak as well has this amazingly crisp intergalactic sound to it. I just think it's friggin' great the way that they've recorded this, and how incredibly like well produced it sounds as well. And of course, just with the banging drums and the fucking relentless pummeling constantly on the album, it just has this nice flavor to it that you're getting different things across each track, very much in the vein of Machine Girl, in the sense that everything's just over the top. It gets incredibly intense at times as well, so I think if you're a fan of whatever Machine Girl's been doing up until this point, then maybe this will be something for you as well. But I think this is just more structured than what Machine Girl does. Everything Machine Girl does is really cool on the ears, but it's also a complete mess for me anyway. But I just feel like this album gives you that messiness, but it's also contained in a really like meticulous way. Once you get to Breathe In though, everything completely slows down, and I really like the way the vocal sample is like breathe in, breathe out. It's sort of like a little moment where like you're just being told like to calm down, like the listener is just sort of being guided with their hands held, and you know you're just kind of being ushering into this safety zone. Everything's been so mad up until that point that you just need a little bit of a so yeah, as you can tell, I think this is great. I think it's fucking great. I'm really hyped to hear an album from the same artist in the same year, and I think both of them are great. This is quite rare to find. I mean, remember when King Gizzard were dropping all those albums in quick succession? How many of them have honestly held up until now? I don't know if many of them have, to be honest. But MoMa Ready? I don't know, MoMA Ready might have it in him to drop multiple albums continuously across the year, and it might all sound great, because this is 2 for 2 now. Just see where he goes with these albums, and collaborating with other artists too. Obviously AceMo is a big part of this one as well. You get so many artists as well that try to drop too much music in a short amount of time, and none of it really sticks, or none of it really feels developed, fully realised. I don't know, man. 2 albums here from MoMA Ready certainly shows that he's got it in him to make multiple albums in a short amount of time and make them friggin' stick. Not sure if I quite like it as much as Gallery S, but I think with time, maybe I'll like this one more. Maybe they'll both be about the same level. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter. I think this one is an 8 out of 10. Really goes to show that, again, electronic music, that electronic side of the world in music has just had such a strong start to 2020. I'm really excited to see where we go from here as well. So yeah, like I say, it's about 69 minutes. Definitely dive into it if you're in the mood. Definitely think if you're a fan of any of the genres I mentioned throughout this video, or anything I've described throughout this video, you could easily love this. I hope you check it out based on my recommendation. It was great to see MoMA Ready's album get so many listens from so many people around based on my review as well. That was really cool to see. It's nice to know that I have a bit of influence on that. So hopefully I have a bit of influence to push this one out there too. Thank you for watching my video. Let me know what you want me to talk about next, what I should review next. Have a good day, subscribe, and goodbye.